Well, this week's video lesson is about voice in dramatic writing. What do we mean by voice? Well, voice is the combination of what a character says and, more important, how they say it, how the character speaks. Because the way a person speaks tells us a great deal about the kind of person they are. Voice is probably one of the most powerful tools available to you in dramatic writing. I mentioned in our second video that first impressions count, and that as dramatic writer you want to be in charge of the first impression a character makes. Well, voice is one of the best ways to create that first impression of a character and then maintain it throughout the script. Now, as usual, the best way to understand these concepts is to see, or in this case, hear them in action. So I'm going to do a bit of acting. I didn't say good acting, I just said acting. This is a book of monologues from Canadian plays, and I'm going to read one from the play The Crackwalker by the Toronto playwright Judith Thomson. There's a bit of a language warning on this one. You've been warned. This is a character named Joe. Martin. Martin wasn't an asshole, but he was stupid, you know? Jeez, he was stupid. So this Friday night, we'd all gotten pissed up the manor, eh? Then we all went over to the island just to fuck around and to see the mayor's sister, Linda, who was working in the General Wolfe at the time. So Bert, that was his real name, Bert and me and Martin had all got these new boots over at the A1 men's store. Really nice, you know, all leather, real solid, $100 a pair. So we wanted to show them off to Linda, you know, bugger. So Bert gets in there and he's jumping on tables, eating all the limes and cherries and that for the drink, singing some gross song about his love boots, he called them. Fuck. It was funny. we were killing ourselves, but Linda, she wasn't laughing. Her boss was getting pissed off, so she told Bert, she goes, "Bert, get the fuck out of here. I think your goddamn boots are shit." That's what she told him. All right. So I think from that we get a sense of Joe as a pretty straight-ahead guy, not exactly a PhD candidate, but a guy who can handle himself, you know, good sense of humor. And we get all that largely from the way he speaks, his voice. We also get from what he says a sense of the class he comes from, the community. You know, he shops at a place called the A1 men's store. But for the most part, it's a matter of how he speaks that we get a sense of who Joe is. Here's another one, and I've purposely chose these to be quite different one from the other. So this is from a play called Small Craft Warnings by the great American playwright Tennessee Williams. And this is a character named Quentin. Yes, once, quite a long while ago, I was often startled by the sense of being alive, of being myself, living, present on earth, in the flesh, yes, for some completely mysterious reason, a single, separate, intensely conscious being, myself, living. And whenever I would feel this feeling, this shock of what? Self-realization? I would be stunned. I would be thunderstruck by it, and by the existence of everything that exists. I would be lightning struck with astonishment. All right, so for one thing, from the voice we get a sense of what part of the world Quentin comes from, the southern United States. That's why I was doing my best shot at a southern accent. But we also, beyond that, get a sense of the kind of man he is. Thoughtful, ruminative, a little melancholy. And from what he says, we get a sense that he's an older man. He's talking about the distant past, so we understand he's a man of a certain age. So the two, what he says and how he speaks, are working together to create the character. Here's one more. This is from the Canadian play Vigil by the Vancouver playwright Morris Panitch, and this is a male character named Kemp. Just look at those horrible little Halloween creatures. wandering from door to door, learning how to panhandle. Look at them. I never went out on Halloween. I wanted to go once as a cardiologist or something, but Mother wouldn't have it. She wanted me to go as a ballerina, of course. She tried so hard to turn me into a homosexual. I was sorry to have disappointed her. I have no sexuality at all, as it turns out. It's my one saving grace. No one has to rely on my body for pleasure. So, Kemp is, from that, I think we can say punctilious, a little finicky, maybe an overactive mind. He just talks and talks and talks. And also a bit bitter. And all that is coming really from the way he speaks. As an actor, I'm giving it my own spin to a degree, but that's because the text, the voice, is giving me a solid sense of the character to work with. So, your assignment this week is to write a monologue, creating a voice for a character, such that simply from what they say and, most important, how they say it, we get a strong sense of who they are. Now remember, a monologue is one character talking. Could be talking to another character, could be talking to the audience, could be talking to their dog. It's usually not a good idea to sort of have them talking to themselves or to middle space, sort of, gee, I wish I could go to the store, but I have to stay here because I'm dog sitting all by myself. Oh, well, I do like animals, especially puppies. Well, we don't usually talk to ourselves, at least not that lucidly. Probably more effective to have the speech directed to someone or something, even the dog. Why do I have to dog sit you? I want to go to the store. You're a perfectly mature dog. Take care of yourself. Usually dramatic speech is most effective when it's directed to someone or something. Keep that in mind. Your monologue should be 1 to 2 pages long in a professional script format, and I look forward to reading it.